Hi guys and welcome back to Switch Up. Thanks so much to all of our new patrons. Remember, we are in the next review video giving away our monthly free game to the subscriber most active and engaged on the channel, and also to a randomly selected patron. We're going to dive into what is quite possibly one of the best sales I've seen in a while, and quite unintentionally this list has turned into a bit of an adventure game lineup, hasn't it, Glen?
Yeah, there's quite a few adventure games on sale from various developers and publishers. There's the Ubisoft games on sale at the minute, as well as games from Devolver Digital, so we'll have a couple of those I'm sure on our list. Okay, let's get started.
The first game is one that I've just purchased. It's Siberia III. I played the first of these back on the iPad when it was released on iOS, and this looked brilliant when I saw this was coming to the Switch. It's a 3D version of the series, and actually the visuals look really nice. Have you played this one, Glen?
No, I've only played the first one. I know that people were quite excited to see the third one come across, but the price was so high on launch, it put a lot of people off. But at this sale price, this is probably the best time to get it.
Definitely 60% off.
Goodbye, Kate Walker. Wow. I'm fine. No time to lose. I don't believe it.
The next game that you might want to pick up on sale is a game called Moonlighter, and you can check out our review of that one on the channel. This is 40% off, which brings it down to a ludicrously cheap price. They've just released a new DLC for this, which adds a load of new content and items that you can sell in your shop. It's basically is a mixture of Zelda with a strong shop selling mechanic.
It was not an easy life. The day he got that old sword, everything changed. He remembered.
Okay, next game then would be State of Mind. I've mentioned this one a couple of times on various lists. I think it was on our last Hidden Gems video, but what I did say in my review of this game was, as much as I did enjoy it, the price was quite high and I'd probably wait for a sale. Well, said sale is now here, and at 66% off, this is definitely the time to pick this game up. It's an adventure game set in a dystopian future. It's got a strong cyberpunk theme. There's a lot more of a story than there is gameplay, but if you're okay with that at this price, pick it up for sure. Mark, you've just bought it, haven't you?
I was just going to say, I've been on a bit of a spend up today. You know when you have those days where you just want to buy everything that you've always wanted to buy? Today's the day. It has a beautiful aesthetic to it, and well, from what I gather, since it was first launched, they've patched it up nicely. It runs really well.
Simulated world.
At the moment, we're uploading 750 people a day that want to build a better world. As you know, our project has entered a decisive phase. We are on the brink of success, the beginning of a new civilization.
The next adventure-ish game, this is a bit of a mixed genre, is the Red Strings Club from Devolver Digital. It's currently 30% off, and, well, if you combine an adventure with a bar simulator, the Red Strings Club is what you'd get. You have to mix certain drinks for different clientele to try and please them, and this changes the conversation that you'll then have with them. I love the style of this, and the music is beautiful.
Okay, my next pick then is a game called LUMO, which is currently at 40% off. Now, I played this game about a year ago now, and it's almost a modern ZX Spectrum game. It's the only way I can really describe it. It's set on an isometric plane where you try to escape from each room to move on to the next screen and do the same again, solving puzzles along the way. Reminds me very much of a game called Night Law that was on the Spectrum. It doesn't have retro graphics, it's nothing like that. It's just a modern game, but very much set in that classic style.
The next game is Aragami. Now, when I reviewed this, I compared it to the likes of Tenchu's Stealth Assassin, if you remember that back on the PlayStation. It isn't as good as those games, the AI isn't the brightest, but it's one of very few stealth-oriented games on the Switch with a really nice shadow leaping mechanic. At 30% off, perhaps this is the time to check it out.
Okay, next game then, and another adventure game. It's Yesterday Origins, which is currently at 66% off. This is a game that I own physically, played it through to completion, and I really enjoyed it. From what I remember of it, the game starts you off in medieval times, and then you almost play as the same character again, but reincarnated in present day. It's an interesting story, and it all comes together at the end, and it's definitely worth this sale price.
Sounds good actually, I might have to check that out. It sounds a little bit like the Longest Journey games. Did you play those back on the PC?
As you may know.
You don't know how to take a bad picture.
Do you really think that I'm the devil's son?
Something devilish shines inside you indeed.
Don't kill me. No, please.
Shut up, you murderer.
Are you awake?
Well played, miss. You have our undying respect.
This trip is gonna put you in danger, and you know it.
The next game for me, and it's one that I bought again today, this sounds really bad, I've been on a right spend up, is Rayman Legends. Now this is 63% off, and Glen has been telling me this is probably one of the best side-scrolling platformers ever. And I finally took the plunge, and he is completely right. The aesthetic is incredible. Being able to play 4-player cooperative, well, I've been playing with my 3-year-old son, and it has a mechanic whereby if he dies, he just turns into a bubble. So I can carry on playing and he thinks he's still playing. A brilliant game, and it really has some great boss fights in it as well.
Yeah, it also has some really interesting music-based stages, and as you go along, you're going to the rhythm of the song. It's really, really impressive and a very good price at the minute. Right, next one then is Enter the Gungeon, which is currently 50% off. Now this is almost a game that needs no introduction. I know a lot of people love this game. It's a roguelike, much in the style of things like The Binding of Isaac. We, Mark and myself, have played this a fair bit, not as much as something like Isaac, but it's a great game. It's recently had a free DLC pack as well added to it, and again at this current price it's so cheap, it's really worth picking up.
Yep, and they also do the same thing that Cubic Games offer. So if you own one of their other games, then you get an extra 15% off. The final game on the list is one that I haven't spent a great deal of time with, and it's another adventure game called Silence. It's half price at the moment. The main thing, like many of these titles, is that it was released with a price that was just too much, particularly in a month where we had some big releases. It's a beautifully hand-painted adventure that carries a Grimm's fairy tale aesthetic to it. As you can probably tell by the end of this list, point-and-click adventures and adventure games in general are one of my favourite genres. Silence, 50% off, might be a game to pick up.
There are only only Seekers and Rebels left in this world.
What are these Seekers?
They're puppets of the False Queen. We want to put an end to the False Queen, and we finally have the shard to find her.
It's the last shard of the mirror. If it falls into the False Queen's hands, no one will ever...
Thanks so much for watching. It is 1:45 approximately here in the UK. We are both knackered. I hope you've enjoyed this list, and as always, thank you to our patrons, to all of our new subscribers.
Yeah, this is a really good sale. There were so many other games that we could have mentioned, things like Just Shapes and Beats, Mario Rabbids, Layers of Fear, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, Downwell, the list goes on and on. Please let us know of any that you've picked up in the sale in the comments below. Take it easy, and until the next one, happy gaming.
For all things Switch all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!